Guys, this is day 30 of a 100-day monk mode challenge, and today we are talking about 9 tricks to boost your sales, or 9 marketing tricks. I'll do that in 2 to 3 minutes, so you can skip right to that moment. And for now, I will talk about me, the agency, and how things are going, and how monk mode is beneficial, right, for those who are following me because of the monk mode challenge. Monk mode is super beneficial. For whom, actually? For those who are trying to be really organized, disciplined, and put together, and for those who are trying to think critically. For business owners, founders, leaders of the teams. And I'm trying to be that person. I am trying to have clear mind, have focus on right things, and not mess up my work schedule. Work is priority number 1 for me. So what happens when you do monk mode and why it's different? It's been 30 days. I'll be honest, I did not follow all the rules that you can find under the video up to the book. Like, I followed maybe 85% of them. It's again, maybe that's I'm overestimating, I guess. So the benefit of monk mode: it changes how you're thinking. It changes your brain and your desires. At the start of the monk mode, you know that sugar is bad for you, that going out late, not to be organized in the morning is bad for you. Some of the things are bad for you, or for productivity, or for your goals. They do not serve you or the company. Then in 30 days of not doing those things, you actually lose a desire for them. You actually do not want them. So there is difference when you know that it's bad for you, but you want to do this, and in a situation when you know it's bad for you and you do not want that. I recently, just now before the video, I ate some nuts that are covered in some sugary stuff. I'm not allowed to do sugar right now, but I did that. So I'm not like following rules 100%, as I said. So I have, sometimes flaws here, and I skip that sometimes. Just because I was hungry, I had no snacks over, nothing to eat. That's preparation is the key. Essentially, if you have nothing else sugary in a house and you prepare your snack, then you'll be organized. So do that. Do not repeat my mistakes. I ate a snack, and I'm sitting here and I feel bad a little bit. Not because I am morally punishing myself, but because I did not enjoy sugar. That was not tasty for me. I'm feeling crap right now because I have this sugar taste in my mouth, and I'm like, ah. That's too honest. And in other things, when yesterday again I tried to break a rule. I'm feeling like, oh, okay, I'm doing all the work. I'm sitting in a village and I'm really bored, and maybe I should watch some film. And yesterday I tried to watch a film. Maybe the selection was creepy. The film was really bad, but I watched 30 minutes of that, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my god, this film, I understand. I'm more conscious about how things are making me feel, how processes are making me feel. So sugar makes me feel bad, and when I'm watching film, it's not even more I understand that my mood is getting off. The film was The Demolition, so you can understand that it's you're ruining something. That's the process of ruining stuff, and I felt like my brain was ruined, and kept being ruined more and more throughout the film. And so I stopped watching that at 30 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm not watching it anymore. I have to go to bed. So your way of thinking changes. You are becoming more essentialist. You're saying no to things more often than you're saying yes, and that's how you want to be thinking as an entrepreneur. So I'm thankful to monk mode, and the changes are positive. I'll keep going, and I'm motivated to record videos. Let's go into our tricks today. 9 tricks to boost your sales. I wanted to say first disclaimer that I am not a marketing expert. I do not have a degree in marketing. I have bachelor's in economics and in English language, but I do UX design, web design, social media content for 4.5 years, and I have a lot of knowledge in that area. And branding and design in general go in really close with marketing, so I do believe that I have some experience knowledge here. Another note before I say all of that, it's really important. First, I want you to maybe to take notes, because we're gonna have how much, 9 or something tricks, and we'll have name of the trick, explanation of that, and how this can be used practically on your website, on your social media, like exact cases where you can use it. So that's the useful part of this video. They would be pretty basic, the tricks. You probably know how human psychology works, how logic works. You are aware of those effects, but here we will be conscious about them. We will notice them, and we will use them to our advantage, to your goals advantage. Let's start. Effect number 1 is called halo effect. Consumer has good experience with product A from company A, so they assume, even before launching, that product B from the same company would be good. If you saw a dress from one designer that was super marvelous, breathtaking, like really amazing, would you assume that dress B would also be good? Because I would assume that, and I would go to that the same designer, like waiting for the presentation or something. That's how our brains work. That's logical. Now, there is opposite effect, the horn effect. So if something is bad, everybody assumes that it's going to be bad, and it takes 12 interactions with this brand or product to forget about that bad interaction. So be really conscious about that. And the horn effect is named after the horns of the devil. Example. So here is practical example. I already told you the dresses, but okay. Apple, when Apple launched iPhone, if that was a disaster, nobody would ever see iPod or think that that's a good idea to buy one. But since we had great halo effect, yeah, we are enjoying iPods and iPhones. And there is a little history that was pretty interesting for me. The idea of this halo effect comes from military from 1920. The research was made by Edward Thornlike. The experiment was the following. So we're in military, and we have many soldiers, I don't know how many, and we have officers who never talked to these soldiers. They do not know the soldiers. And officers were asked to point out, in their opinion, the most capable men, like the smartest ones, good at leadership, physically capable, right? Having this wit. And they pointed out the most attractive man. Obviously, we can doubt the criteria by which attractiveness can be estimated, because for somebody that's been too muscular or having like a symmetrical face and other stuff, but officers, we're not talking about men and women, like officers pointed out that men who look more attractive, like they expected them to be better leaders, to be smarter, to be more physically capable. And it's funny, we know that our brain works like this. That's how nature works, that's how selective process works, like that's how men select women, and vice versa. And we know this trick. But when you write this down, when you consciously understand this, and you can use it for your business, then you win. Obviously, we know those examples when brands are using popular people to, like, as a brand pairing with their brand to promote it. Everybody hires celebrities to promote stuff. If we think that, like, if we see this specific perfume with George Clooney, we think that if George Clooney wears it, like, it might be good. It should be good, because we like George Clooney, and like he cannot like bad stuff. It's obvious, but let's see how practically we can use that. I wrote that down. On a website or app, premium clean design makes user assume your product and service is high quality. we're currently working on baby resume app, and we are busting our asses off with the founder about website, about present like pitch deck, about app store pictures, about social media carousels, like every detail. Really, sometimes I get mad when we're getting the comments again and again to fix stuff, but I do understand that if that was my product, I would be picking out every detail, and that's how things work. And the brand should be represented all together. It should be aligned. That's one of the benefits I say like we have at the agency, because we refuse to work on just one segment of your brand. If you make a website really awesome but your product is scrappy, that's not gonna work. First, halo effect would be great, but then it will be followed by horny effect. But if your brand is aligned across platforms, online and offline, that's when it's gonna work. Obviously, you should start with something. So the first thing that you'll launch should be really good. You cannot start with a bad thing. Maybe later on, you are allowed to make some of the mistakes, but everybody's paying attention to you. And there are like this halo effect is a little bit flexible. So if you have your queen like signature product and you launch something else and it loses over time, like when you've built your credibility, you build your brand over like 5 years or something, and then you lose second product and it's not that popular, it's like not bad, but it's not that popular, then okay, you can go back from that to the main product. There is example of that in 1985. Coca-Cola launched a new Coke. So they were at the time in competition with Pepsi. I'll tell you the story in short, but it's really interesting. I wrote a whole article about that today. At the time, in the 80s, they were in competition with Pepsi. And Pepsi was doing several ads and like tests where people would do blind tests and compare Pepsi with cola. And most of the applicants, like respondees, would select Pepsi over cola. That was because of the amount of sugar Pepsi had in their cans, to put plainly. And Pepsi was really proud of that. In response, like Coca-Cola, they launched new Coke, in which they increased the amount of sugar. And they were accused of copying Pepsi and like repeating after them. And fans did not like that. They wanted to go back to classic cola, which was like put out to archives somewhere. So new Coke lived on the market for 75 or something days, and then classic Coke cola was represented back on the market because like stocks were falling and nobody was satisfied with that. Everything was crashing, so they just went back to the original taste. And I guess they buried that new Coke in 2003 or something. So the thing is, when people like your first product, they can be a bit, how to put that, positively biased towards your brand. Even if you launch second product that is like not that good, they will forgive it to you. But if you're launching your first product that is really bad, you failed, you're dead. So yes, make the marketing materials before you launch in the actual product more appealing. Like here, premium website and app, like they look really good, so that when physical products comes up or the next product comes up, the audience would be warmed up. Yeah, same for landing page, same for social media. Next trick is lose aversion. People are more motivated by the fear of losing something than the prospect of gaining something. The pain of losing $100 is greater than gaining the same amount. And example, when you are making some hooks for reels on social media, use negative hooks. Nobody likes anything negative, but it motivates people more. I don't mean like manipulating setting ultimatums and stuff. But for instance, how we're working with our hooks on the reels right now for the agency. We have two options, right? Option one is gain 20% more users with this retention technique, right, for app. Or you are losing 20% of your audience with this, like without this retention hack. The second option would always work better. And I've learned that statistically, really, if you put out there 2 reels like that, we did that, and negative one always performed better. So we're using negative motivation. And even for yourself, it's not always that destructive, you know. What else did I wrote as a practical application? For headers on the website or apps, do not miss your last chance. Highlight what users lose by not acting. Like every day you wait, you're losing X dollars in revenue. Before and after posts really work good on the social media because they show you the cost of inaction, right? Seeing how potentially much money you can make is not that motivating, but seeing potentially how much money you're losing, like that's a good deal of motivation. Trick number 3, social proof. People are more likely to trust the product or service if they see others using or enjoying it. I have a story for that. So from a coffee shop, I live in a city, on the village, and when I would go to the coffee shop, there is some kind of stand by the counter where a lot of fridge magnets are placed, or I don't know, some random books or some pictures, I don't know, some like small shop of stuff, like drip coffee packages, different weird stuff. And not many people will actually pay attention to that stand. Basically, nobody pays attention to that because it's located on the side. So when you're ordering coffee, you're standing in front, like facing the waiter, and there are some sweets located, some bakery stuff, and this stuff with the fridge magnets is placed just on the side. You cannot see that. I never saw people looking at the thing. Really, I would go to the coffee shop for like 30 days straight and work there, and I would not see a soul looking over that stand. One day, there was some guy, I don't know, like the tourist or like somebody who's not living in our building, and he would come up to the stand and he would start like looking at, checking it out. And then there is a second woman who entered the room like behind him. She would also, when waiting for a coffee, she would also start like opening up the books and reading, like standing by the stand. And then like 20 minutes later, I see, and there are like 6 people standing by that wall and checking out some like magnets and some weird stuff. And I was a little bit shocked. That's so simple. That's like a cue effect, so easy to understand. But I never saw that in like, it's thrilling when you see that live in action. It's so interesting. I'm like, you just have to put there one person and everybody's gonna start like wondering what's happening there. It's like it's not funny, but if you have a car crash and one person would stand, wonder what's happening, and then you would have in a couple of minutes 30 more people. I don't know, people love standing together in places, buying together everything. So social proof works really great, especially if it's true. And I'm telling all of my clients on all the consultation that social proof can be presented in different ways. If you have a landing page, so you should have reviews, rating reviews from Google, like reviews from Yelp, from Trustpilot are really important because they are hard to, like, it's hard to fake them. Video reviews are really hard to fake. Cases before and after, really hard to fake. Faces of real people, as I said. Emotional reviews. So if people are not just saying, hey, so Jake's bakery is super good, etc. But when you tell, I don't know, the story, so I was sitting there at my birthday, and I always go to this coffee shop, so everybody knows me there, and I'm going too deep in that. But essentially, like, they presented me a cake without me telling that that's my birthday because they made a research or they saw that in my dog. I don't know, like, they are paying attention to their customers. And this is exceptional case. So stories like this, they matter a lot. Social proof, like followers, number, like amount of content that you post on the social media is also a proof. Amount of cases that you have is also a proof. What else? I'm forgetting stuff right now. But proof is the style of your communication. If you do not have clients, you can put yourself out there on the website and say a couple of words of why you founded the product, what is the idea behind it, what's your drive, like what really, why are you spending all of your money and time building this product and believing in that? What is so special about it? Why are you invested in that? That would be a source of proof. Especially if you are thinking without filler words, if you are being confident when you're talking, when people see that you either understand what you're talking about, or you're super passionate about it, or you're transparent about it. People trust those two things. They see that you're transparent, passionate, consistent, and you're an expert in a niche. Any one of those four things working really well. And obviously, what else? Social proof. Yeah, if you see comments under products on the e-commerce website, it's also really good. Ratings. It's interesting when I'm buying products, let's say over 500 or something, maybe even less, I would read comments under those products. Even if this is really not popular product, like it has 2 comments, but they are good and they are true, I would most likely buy this one over the product that has no comments. It's interesting. Next trick is confirmation bias. People tend to seek out information that confirms their existing beliefs or attitudes. And I have a little scheme. I don't know if you'll see that. So, what does it say? Yeah. So these are like all evidence, and these are our beliefs, and the things that is in the intersection. This is the evidence that we believe. So there would be tons of people who are telling you that this product is good. Let me think about the example. But if only... Okay. Let me start again. I know now. This comes from CIA practice. I was listening a lot to different podcasts by CIA. I don't know if they are like created to manipulate people, etc. People have different comments to that. I'm trying to stay aware of that. But one of the techniques they use to connect with strangers who do not know them is you can mirror a person, and you can align with a person in their values and beliefs. When you meet a new person, you let them speak a little bit, and you see if they are being more conservative, or maybe they approached you on the street and they are complaining about somebody, and you see that they have a bit more religious beliefs, or the opposite, or maybe people have different really values, different beliefs, different views of the world. And after a couple of minutes of listening to them, you see what they believe in. And if you can connect with them on those belief level, it's really strong connection. Then you can bring in new information that this stranger would allow inside. It's hard to convince people when you have an argument with them. It's impossible. You're never gonna change anybody's opinion. Like when I was a teenager, I used to fight with my parents a lot, and I would try always to reteach them with their beliefs. I would try always to change them. Now I'm no longer doing that. I know that it's never gonna happen, first of all, if a person does not want that. Second of all, I know that it can be done in a fight. Never. Everybody exits the fight with their own beliefs even stronger. And plus they're offended and your relations are ruined. Awesome. So when you're trying to connect with a stranger, you connect on the belief level, and then You either genuinely search your common beliefs, or you're faking that you have similar beliefs, and then you introduce new ones. Then they are more perceptive to that. So how this can be done on the website? You can acknowledge the problem that people are having, right? If you know your target audience good enough, for instance, again, working on a baby resume, if I say name the struggles people have, right? So you are forgetting the most important events in your child's life, and you feel bad about it. And then like some typical scenarios for a target audience person, you connect with them, and then you can enter new stuff. Same goes for reels, right? Content is relatable. When you are showing a reel of being perfect mom, you'll get likes because people, some people, with some psychological disorders, they like watching those perfectionist reels when products are organized perfectly at a supermarket, etc. Yeah, you'll get likes because people will envy you and they'll hate you, how good you are, etc. But you'll get far more if you connect with them, if you show the good side, how you're trying to be the best mom, but then like in reality, like, yeah, I'm not perfect, and here are the problems that I have. People relate to that, and then you can kind of be a little bit salesy after connection. So I wrote down. Wait a second. I'm trying to find my comments. Yeah, confirmation wise. Exactly as I said. Headlines that reinforces the visitor's worldview on the website. Smart business owners know branding is essential. If people think of themselves as smart, and everybody thinks of themselves as smart, I don't know that anybody would think they're stupid. Smart business owners know branding is essential. So you connect with them on the smart business level, and now you manipulate them in thinking that they need branding. Let's also heard this technique from one of the CIA agents on Jack New podcast. He said, if I do not want a person to come late on the interview the next time, this time I would say, you know what happened to me this morning? I went on a meeting, and this person came 20 minutes late. It made me so angry. I really do not respect people who are not organized. They cannot just put themselves together. And you might have you might hide it more and have a bit like more smooth conversation about it, but most people would not notice that in the conversation. And they if they want to be liked, most of us want to be liked, they will behave so that you would respect them, so they would be mindful of time, and they would try to be punctual the next time you meet them. They will change in the way they're interacting with you, and that's how you manipulate people. There are different ways, and this is one of them. When you can see on the website, like, smart business owners do this, and those who consider themselves to be smart, they will do this because they associate themselves with a smart business owner, right? And on social media, you can be validating existing frustrations or desires that people have. You're right. Logos don't build your brand. Like, you're right. I spent money on logo. It did mean nothing. But here is the thing that, like, how I fixed my problem with branding. So if you can relate to that one, the problem is close to what I told about mother, right? Who's being relatable with problematic life. You can then, in the second part of the sentence, affect people. The next trick number 5, scarcity effect. We all know that. When something is perceived as really limited or rare, people are more motivated to obtain it. And it doesn't come like, if we dive deeper, if you have limited resources, let's say we are in a country and it's like we have a dry or something and we have no water, we are most likely like gonna be tending naturally towards having more water, obtaining more gallons of water just to survive. And that's how this scarcity goes in the real world, where most likely we're not going to have these critical situations that often, or not everybody will have them, but we still have them, and we still want to obtain things, and we want to carry them. So making the amount of things you're putting out there scarce is a motivator. Never do this as a fake offer. Anything like two spaces left, spots left, and then you like people see that you're walking 5 more clients. It will go out there one day. Somebody will figure out that the numbers are not matching. There are people who are paying attention, and once they do not believe you, like they see that you're lying, they will, that's going to be a horn effect. So stay true, but use these scarcity tools. It's, you think that you're kind of losing on the things that you're putting out there, right? You can be selling 200 t-shirts instead of 100, just, yeah, but what if you increase the price? You will lose some of the people, but no, you will lose some of the sales, but you'll gain more, and you can make next launch in like 10 days or something. So it's never scarce, actually. It's just in portions. And on the phone, I wrote down the thing. Also, it can be limited in time. So the product that you're launching, maybe the guideline or something, can be available only for 24 hours, and then it's gone. It's also, it can be scarce in time, in amount of items, and yeah, maybe you're selling consultations, so your energy can also be scarce. The next thing, it's anchoring effect. Interesting. That's one of the most interesting ones for me. People heavily rely on the first piece of information they receive when making a decision, and how this can be used. I want to go back and explain that. What does anchoring effect mean? When you meet a new person, not even meet a new person, you know, let's imagine a situation. I guess many of you have been to like school or university, and when you are meeting new people, you kind of hear things about different people at school, university, at a company, and you hear that they are rude, right? They are mean, they are not organized, they are not smart enough, they are just like taking everything they see. You know, so you hear something bad about a person. Most likely it's bad. The gossips are always bad. So you create a portrait in your head already about this person, and you're already biased. You already have a prejudice from popular film. And that's more, if you come back in your life and think about this, you are currently thinking about some specific person whom then you later on met, and this person turned out to be different, because everybody see people like different way. Somebody is over exaggerating stuff in the gossips and etc. And I had experiences like that. I was thinking we had conversations with my friends where I would say, like, we would ask questions. What did we think of each other before we actually met each other, before we talked? And I don't know, but people thought of me as too like organized, too stiff, not loose, not funny, not like boring, geek. I don't know, like something like that. Or I would think of my friends as also weirdos, like freaks who do not know how to dress, or like who do not know, who are not serious about their life. And like, you know, about different people you think different stuff, and that's all bullshit when you meet them. But essentially, that's how we see the world. Even it's a product, it's a brand, it's a new launch, it's a new film, whatever. We always have a prejudice, we always have a bias. We always have this anchor that happens when you first meet a person or first hear about the person. It doesn't happen even when you meet this product. When you have a product already, you can discover that. But when you hear about like new iPhone, everybody's telling you, oh well, the presentation of the iPhone isn't that impressive, like not too many features. They are just selling new models just to sell them, just to make more money. and they are not improving the stuff. That's what you hear. And then you get a new iPhone and then you're excited about it. So that's how anchoring works. And here are 6 practical ways in how you can use anchoring effect for your business. The first one is discount price. If you are writing on the tag that this thing costed $7 before, you cross out this old price and you write like $700, people are most likely to buy it. Like, yeah, that's old stuff. It works. The second trick, monthly we see annual subscription in apps. It's not only, companies want to put annual subscription just to have clients with them for longer time, obvious. But then why are they leaving the option of monthly subscription? So I guess there are products that are so essential that can afford not to put monthly subscription on. But if the product is not of the first necessity, it's not like we cannot live without this product, it's not like water, it's questionable. I can buy the subscription, maybe I do not need that subscription, especially with entertainment. If I'm paying for Netflix, right? I don't want to be watching all series and films and waste my whole year. Maybe like wasting a month doesn't sound that bad as wasting a year, and that's what I think when I'm paying for Netflix. I do not pay for Netflix because I do not want to have easy access to content, and I don't want to waste my time. And if I would see yearly subscription as the only option for Netflix, I would never pay. That's why companies who are not solving that huge of a problem, they have monthly subscription. What they're doing, they are increasing monthly price and they are decreasing price for months on a yearly basis, right? And they are showing yearly option first. So when you see $500, you're like, that's too much for watching the film. But then you see, I don't know, like totally missed the calculation here. When you see like $50. I'm so bad I was counting right now. When you see $20 for a month, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that. So that's how you're anchoring the price. You show them big price and then you show them smaller price. Where you can use anchoring effect, case 3. In salons with cars, what they do is they are putting the most expensive cars in the front, not because they are sold the most, they are not, just to compare the price. They are showing you a huge price and then you're lowering the price down. That's what you do in sales. You're naming the bigger price and then you can maybe go down from that bigger price. That's why often the first price you are naming is not the price you're gonna set the deal with, unless, I don't know, you're some super respectable brand with tons of clients in a queue and everybody wants your stuff. If you're negotiating the price, most likely the first price is just like 2 times higher than the one that would actually cover the expenses. And that's our mistake. We are never naming the highest price. We are always like going for the lowest price. Trick 4, pricing per unit of goods. That's old trick, but it's so practical and everybody goes through it still by this day, so we're using that in marketing. If one bottle costs $3 and 6 bottles cost you $15, then obviously one bottle is free. I'm gonna buy that even if you do not need 6 bottles of like Coke with sugar stuff. Hack 5. Each upgraded item starts from a previous item's price. I already talked about iPhones, but what they are doing with the models, it's genius. When they are launching iPhone 15, let's say, and it costs, I googled it, starts from $700 in US. Like it's the minimum price for the smaller like memory. The next item you're launching cannot be cheaper than this. Like it's not. It can never be cheaper than iPhone 15 because it is upgraded version. It's new version. More work was put in that, and time has like past and the inflation and all the factors. So new iPhone cannot cost less than $700, and it's gonna cost $829, and iPhone Plus like 16 would cost $899. So it's always up, it's never down, and the more models iPhone will have, the price will always grow, it will never go down. That's the genius part about it. And hack number 6, the last one about anchoring, gear acquisition syndrome. They tell you your camera is no longer good enough, so you're always buying a new one, and that's the point of whole marketing, the whole consumerism. There are some people who are like fighting against consumerism in the world. We're buying too much stuff. When you bought your camera and it's working perfectly well and you have no complaints, right? But if you see the marketing, you see new camera with new perks, new stuff going out there, you're really curious. And if they are saying that this camera is no longer in trend, it's no longer working for you, like everybody's upgrading, then you feel the need of buying a new one, and that's how we're making money, right? And what I learned from monk mode, actually, I do not have much time for shopping, for watching, especially social media. On social media, you see so many ads. I see like maybe half less ads than before, and it's to the huge benefit. I'm buying things that I need. When I need stuff, I buy stuff. Right now, it's not that. Monk mode gives you a chance to step out from the consumerism, and it makes you feel like you are enough. Not in a bad way, like you do not have to move on, but monk mode gives you the feeling of happiness, that I am enough and I can create when I'm not stressed out, when I'm not worried about stuff. When I have anxiety, I used to have anxiety with notebooks, so I would have like one, and when I would write on a couple of pages, I would be like, I need a new one. This one isn't that cute. Like my handwriting is really bad here, and the pages are messed up. And right now, I almost passed half of the notebook here, and I don't know. It just hasn't been to the supermarket yet in a month, and I haven't seen new ones. And I'm satisfied with the one that I have. It's interesting. I stepped away from the concept. We have 3 more tricks to cover. Trick number 7, goal gradient effect. People are more motivated to complete the task as they approach the end. So if they are buying online on the e-commerce website, they would be more likely to buy the stuff as they are approaching the end of the checkout. So they filled their delivery address, etc. And that's exactly why often almost at the end, like before paying for your product, you always have like ads or similar like products that you might buy together with this one. That's the place where people are most vulnerable, and you can actually use that as well. That's why I'm telling you that, because they've already spent so much time selecting a product, right? They've like inserted delivery data, and maybe they're like personal info, and maybe they've I don't know what else they did. So they did some research, they compared the products, right? They spent some time, and now they want to check out. And if you're adding like automatically like, hey, would you like to buy these headphones or something, they are most likely to do that, and they are most likely to buy a product. A little percentage of people leave at this point. And actually, if they leave, you always should keep that in mind and have notifications and pop-up systems to like about abandoned carts on the websites, because some people like you're losing actually money on that. I wrote down the applicable stuff. Always have progress bars in signups or in any actually process that requires several steps in filling out some forms. That's just from UX world. Step 2 out of 3, almost there. yeah, like encourage people that they're almost done. Like one more to go, one rep to go. And trick number 8, the mere exposure effect. People tend to prefer things that are familiar to them. It's like Jacob's Yax's law. There is Yax's law in interfaces that said that when you're building the website, it should be similar to the rest of them. Pretty boring, huh? That's what essentially it says. But if I put it simply, like people spend 80% of their time on 20% of the websites in the world, right? So most of the people shop on Amazon, most of the people watch videos on YouTube, most of the people set ads on the like Facebook, see it on the Instagram. There are so many social platforms, and there are so many websites, but majority of us know basic ones. So if we are building new social media platform, the easiest way to make people use our platform is to be similar to those that already exist on the market. Not because we want to copy them, but because technically when people are familiar with that, like people are familiar with the way car works. If you launch a new car that's going to be completely like with a different position of a wheel and everything, nobody's going to buy that because they would not feel comfortable, because they would feel dumb. They will not understand how the system works. That's how Jacob's actually law in Yax works. So when you're doing like a navigation bar and some breadcrumbs on the website or some drop down menus, there are certain rules to that, and most likely you should follow them because that saves seconds for people purchasing items, and their experience is more pleasant. So what did I wrote for practical usage of co-gradient effect? No, for mere exposure. Oh my god. Mere exposure effect. You can have daily notifications with subtle branding on the app. On social media, you can regularly post with repeated phrases, visuals, and taglines until they stick with a person. And yeah, people might not watch all your videos. What we're doing, we are posting videos and reels every day. People might not watch all our reels, but they remember my face, they remember the topics I cover all the time, and it sticks with them. And you should be creating labels for your own product. You should be always talking and exposing people to your product to create that mere exposure effect, so that they will remember you, and whenever they will be in a situation when they need a dentist or somebody, they will, like, in their memory, your picture will pop up, and that's really useful. And the last trick is authority bias. People are more likely to trust and follow the advice of those in position of authority or those who they admire. So for landing page, you can the founder can talk to people directly, tell his story, credentials also, and show degrees. App highlight certifications and compliance badges. For social media, do interviews with experts and why your product is really good, and collabs with people they respect, like celebrities. We talked about George Clooney already. Let's repeat all the tricks, right? So we started with halo effect. If one product is good, second product most likely will be good in the eyes of others. Second trick, loss aversion. People are more motivated by losing stuff, not by achieving new stuff. Social proof. People are more likely to trust you if others trust you. Confirmation bias. Connect with people on the level of their beliefs, and then you can sell them more stuff. Scarcity effect. When something is scarce and limited, people want to hold that more. Anchoring effect. The first thing people see in terms of price, in terms of level of beauty, anything, will be the starting point, and any, like, all the next things that people see will be compared to the first one. All the rest of the boyfriends you're gonna have, you're always gonna be comparing them to the first one, to put simply. So how we can use that? Make discounts, compare new price and old price, compare monthly and annual prices, compare costly cars with cheap cars, compare price per one bottle and 6 bottles, and make a discount on 6 bottles. compare item number 1 and upgraded item, and always like there would be like a set stiff level of price for item 1, then item number 2 will start from pricing of item 1 all the time. And yeah, promote consumerism. Like say that the old product people have is already bad, it's not in trend, so they should acquire a new one. Goal gradient effect. People are more motivated to finish the process when they are like almost approaching the end. So promote more stuff when they are filling out their cart on the e-com website. Trick 8, the mere exposure effect. Put a lot of content out there, make hours and hours of stuff, appear on different events, talk to different people, so that your audience would be exposed to you and your product everywhere. And when you'll become familiar to them, like at the right time, they remember exactly your face or your logo or your name. And trick number 9 is authority bias. Get experts, educated people who others respect, to talk about you, to talk with you, to be with you, and then you'll be heard. This was pretty interesting and valuable video, and I was sitting there for like an hour talking to you. Long time, a lot of value. I feel motivated to go back to work. Also hit a run today. Haven't yet went for a run, and I'll see you tomorrow. Awesome day. Good luck with your business. You can also check out other videos from Monk Mode and videos about business and branding if you like this one. Bye.